Yeah.
Also, Nick, they too are covering the clash between Sunak and Sturgeon.
Yep, Sunak triggers constitutional clash with Sturgeon over gender laws, and Sturgeon has accused them of a full frontal attack on the democratically elected Scottish Parliament. Not the best choice of words. I mean, many people, women will be worried if people like Sturgeon get in the way that there will be a full frontal attack in a changing room. So it's not the word I would use, but it's a shocking gender recognition bill. We've talked about it. Basically, from age 16, you can just say, yeah, I'm a different gender now, then people proceed to cut bits off you. I'm paraphrasing, but it's not much more complicated. And it's an awful bill, so I'm glad it's being stopped.
And the self-ID element as well, which has been embraced in Canada and a few other countries around the world, but which Britain is, as an entirety, the UK is not entirely comfortable
Right,
with.
and you can do it much more quickly than before.
Yeah.
But under Section 35 of the Scotland Act, 1998, they're blocking it. Now, of course, it's going to lead to a court battle where Sturgeon's going to hit back and it's all just going to kick off. And, she's complaining about the devolved powers. I'm not convinced about the devolved powers. Anyway, I mean, if you're independent, that's one thing. But if you're not, you're not. And that's why they're allowed to do stuff like this. You might say, should they be able to do this? But in this case, it's a good thing because it's an awful, awful bill.
Well, this will certainly test the strength of those devolved powers, won't it? But, of course, I suppose we should say this isn't exactly a question of Sunak saying, I don't like that new law, I'm not going to allow you to have it. It's more for constitutional...
No, absolutely, because the fact is that by putting in the law in Scotland, it's going to have this adverse impact on UK equalities law for everybody in the entire UK. So that's
how would it impact? It wouldn't impact anyone in England or Wales.
Well, because if someone goes off and gets this gender ID, so if legally they're a woman, then they come to England or they go to Wales and they commit a crime.
Like being able to drive on a licence that you got in another country.
They're calling it gender tourism.
Yeah, then they can go to a women's jail. They can go, and this is and this bill is so bad that they actually voted against. Part of it, someone tried to put an amendment on it to say, look, like sex offenders, rapists, shouldn't be able to self-ID into women's prisons, and they actually voted against that.
And one thing that struck me reading through it was the sort of vocal aggression of the Green Party on this. They seem to be more concerned with this than they are with ecological issues. It seems. I'm not sure what part of the Green agenda.
It's been expanded, hasn't it, from saving whales? Remember, it was just mainly whale and dolphin based.
But 2/3 of Scottish people are actually against this bill.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people are saying that this is actually part of Sturgeon's plan to sort of push through. She's deliberately pushed this bad bill through to force the UK government to then protest against it and to make her case for independence.
That certainly does seem plausible to me, which is why it's quite odd and frankly irritating to see their side, the Green Party and Sturgeon's side, refer to this issue being used as a political football. Yeah. It's being used as a political football, at least by both sides. I would argue more by the SNP, really, but